ẹ jẹ́ fún wẹ́ẹ́ kọ́sọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣe é tó bá ti wọ́n lórí pé ẹ fi wá ìdí ẹ fi wòye pé káwọn ọmọ yìí ní white paper compliant education yóò ṣe ní ẹgbẹ́ àgbà wọn. Àwọn tí ó ń bu máìkà tí wọ́n pa pípa ìdíje tí wọ́n fẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní pé búrẹ́dì wọn tí wọ́n fi jẹ ṣàwámà tó fi dàbí pọ́sẹ̀ tó wọ́n tó instead bread tó ń jẹ ṣu àwọn àdúgbò wa. Lẹ́yìn tẹ̀ kàwé tẹ̀ lọ nígbà rẹ̀ ẹni problem. Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ lórí fóònù yìí tẹ̀ lórí fóònù yìí support system fún títà tó ṣe fóònù yẹn gbàgbé. Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́? Ẹ má ti gbọ́ rẹ̀ nínú rẹ̀.
ID yà á bẹ̀rẹ̀ program ọjọ́ gbọ́ sí.
Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́? Ìlú yóò sì fún yín mọ́. Ṣé bá ti ń wọ̀ yìí ti wọ àwọn bàtà tó Dubai náà ti ń lẹ́yìn. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ ti lọ́ra bàtà. Dẹ́jẹ́ là máa ń wọ̀ ní. Ṣé bá ti lọ́ra bàtà ń bẹ̀rẹ̀? Ẹ̀ka yìí ti lọ. Ẹ ṣọ́ra yín o.
Àwọn fún agbébànà náà ìlànà tó. Àwọn agbébànà náà ìlànà.
They are all foreigners. You are a foreigner. Ogun tẹ wọ̀nyẹn foreigner yìí. You are spending dollar in naira.
Ṣé Mike Oṣasi títọ́ tí wà online o?
Torí pé wọ́n ti sọ Nàìjíríà sí kọ́ńtì àdájú.
Mo ń gbóhùn ẹnìkan lábẹ́lẹ́ àwọn òròjọ́ ó ní àtàlẹ́ ìjọ òròjọ́ ìṣòro ọ̀dọ́ ó dà ìtàbí àgbẹ̀lú pàtó.
Nígbà wo ni?
Àbúrò ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àlẹ́ rẹ̀ tiẹ̀.
Ṣé bá ti lè máa ná dọ́là tẹ́ bá ti ń sọ yín problem ẹ̀ rárá ni? This one is not meant to be.
ID why help me pẹ̀lú.
All right. So good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone. Thanks for being here. Our guest is also here. So our guest is also here. And, this last day of the series, which we started about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we had 42 sessions, and today will be the final session. And if I can help me, so that let's just run through what we've been able to do so far. The first Friday, we looked at what did we look at? We did SWOT analysis. We're also able to. Sorry, I think okay. So but you have to use the second computer to help me. So we did SWOT analysis. That means we try to analyze our business. Yeah, the next slide. Yeah, thank you. So that was what we did. Business diagnostic, analysis and direction. So we did SWOT analysis of our business. We looked at the strengths that our business have. We looked at the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats in our businesses. And one key highlight of that training was gathering data as relating to our business to be able to make informed decisions going forward with regards to our business. Then the second Friday, we looked at strategy, strategizing. And there was this, I forgot the name of it. Yes, thank you, Pesto, that came forward at that meeting. And people were a bit like, we've not even finished SWOT. We're adding more to it. But the personal analysis gave us a wider scope to look at all other indices that as it affects our business. And you find that one of the things that we've been talking about today is politics. And politics play a major role in determining what happens to our business. And for example, the dollar rate. I know Mr. Wakajola can say so much about that right now. The dollar exchange rate. How much is dollar to naira now? 5.20. Wow, that's interesting. So we looked at that, and last week Friday we looked at next slide, please. We looked at understanding customer needs and expectation, and Mr. Ibe did a very, very good job talking to us about key things as relating to our business. This particular Friday, which is the last of the series. Mr. Mark Controller is here. He runs a business in this city, a great business in this city when it comes to telecommunications, gadgets, and all the rest. So he's here with us this morning to take us through. And this today as well, we'll also be getting feedback from the participants as to what we've been able to do so far, and possibly just use our businesses as case studies, so that we're able to get input from other people that helps you to look at other areas you normally not have looked at so far. And you can live here and you know that you're ready to begin to implement the lessons learned. We will hope that by the main event of ECommerce Summit, we'll be ready to showcase our something to present as achievements so far in our business. So as we can see, that pastor is not here, he's unavoidably absent. We have to take some rest. So that's why he's not here this morning. So once again, I want to welcome everyone to the center workshop this morning. You're most welcome. So I want to call about I don't know how Mr. Makondela will handle this morning. So I want to allow him to come to the floor so that we'll take charge and take over. And by the way, please let's make sure that we play safe. COVID-19 is real. COVID-19 is ravaging. It's not out of fear, it's just for us to take the necessary caution possible. It's important. People always say that prevention is better than cure. So please, let's take all the necessary precautions. As you can see that we arranged the seats here to make sure that at least there's a bit of spacing in terms of our seats and everything. So I don't need to sit with you. And the matters from here going forward. And if you want to engage with the audience, lovely. That'll be fun. So over to Mr. Jidema Controller. Let's welcome him.
Thank you. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a slide to work with. I don't have any material to work with. And I'll tell you why. I asked Mr. Francis to send me everything that has been taught here. So I went through everything. And I noticed that they practically touched on almost every area that it's necessary within the scope of this project. And I started asking myself the question, why did they now ask me? Because I saw everything. It was detailed and well discussed. So I said, okay, we're going to prepare a slide or prepare a material for this discussion. Then it means that there's going to be a lot of repetition. And I didn't want repetition. I get tired of repetition. I said, okay, let's twist it. Let's have discussion based on what is happening right now. Tell me what you want to do. And when we discuss it together based on the happenings in Nigeria. I don't want to talk about anything foreign. I don't want to talk about. We want to look at our environment as it is. How do we survive within our environment? So I'm working on one want to work on anything. Tell us what you want to work on. Because it doesn't mean that there's supposed to be people who are supposed to be working on a particular project or have a pitch. So we listen to the pitch and then we'll criticize it together. Positively look at the areas that are great and look at other areas that we need to look at. As the Nigerian context is not popular for me. Yeah, that's what it is. So I don't know who wants to start. I'm hoping that you'll tell us pitch whatever you want to work on or what you're looking at or what you're working on at the moment and you're trying to, revamp, reboot, or whatever it is. And then we now begin to actually look at it critically and tell you the areas that you're supposed to look at and you're not looking at all. I hope you understand.
All right. So we're going to going to build it. Cut. The mic is not on. No, switch it on. It should come on. Yes. No. 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 It should.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello. I think from the last lecture, the last speaker talked about the business plan framework and said two fundamental metrics for assessing every business. The first question said, what is the problem to be solved? And the second one, what is the quality of solution being provided? And for my own little business plan, we are looking into this real estate and property development. So we have our own business plan before this event, this conference, because we are able to get some more insight into business. Because actually I'm an architect, so we are looking at the real estate and property development. We give the way it's being done right now. There's been an improvement, and we discovered that it's just that modernization is still very, very good. So, two fundamental metrics for assessing every business. One, on the first question, what is the problem to be solved? The problem we are looking at is discovered that the lack of well laid out neighborhood and where people live. The state has no fiscal planning. The layout is very bad, and they lack necessary facilities. And so I go to abroad to find that an average person lives in a very good environment, which is very large, which is a very probably challenge in Nigeria. If you don't belong to a target class, you can't live in this neighborhood. You cannot afford to live. And this is a decent environment, which was nothing so special for someone to now say, because you have arrived and now say you want to live in a place whereby it's a paved road, flowers, street light, and what else. So it's why every Nigerian should be able to afford probably to give a 3-bedroom bungalow. You don't need to go to the outskirts of the town, no probably far away towards the same road or going to far away because you just want to build your house. And even if you build your house, you have to take about 200 naira inside the street before you arrive at it. Then late in the night, I'm about to come and rob you and all the because of lack of security, because you are living in the bush. So it's why this is a very big problem. Then the question is, what is the quality of solution being provided? Well, I said we are trying to provide affordable housing, necessary facility in the same neighborhood. So that has been the two major, let's say, objective of starting the business. So we saw that in this age or our own generation, saw that people, a lot of people have decided to own their own house, but the system is not really in place. Like this issue of buy your land, pay over a period of time, this pay instrumentally. It's so that by the time you buy the land, maybe it's as affordable, it's so that facilities are not even facilities. You don't have necessary facilities in that location. So, and this our generation is so that people are trying to build their houses at a very young age, between the age of 35 and 45. They want to have a roof over their head. Like before, wherever you get to the 55, before you can build your own, because you build your own due to some factors, maybe due to the increase in house rent, due to inflation and all that. So we are looking at that concept of making housing accessible to average working class. So I think we now talk about what about the resources required. So one, access to the land, providing an office in the right location, fund, how do you access fund, the kind of workers, the marketing. So talk about kind of workers, marketers, engineers, and the management team. Then how do you capture value?
Sorry, let me. I want to understand what you're trying to.
Yeah.
So let me just ask. This is your proposition.
Yes.
That's what you.
Yes, the idea. Because talk about factor the time. Talk about the process of it talks about the stages of business, from ideation to startup, growth, and maturity. So I think we are still at the ideation stage.
So you've been able to identify the problem.
Yes.
And the problem is that people cannot have access to affordable houses within the metropolis.
Yes, sir.
Where there are basic amenities. Right?
Yes.
So how do you intend to solve the problem? You've identified the problem.
Yes.
How do you intend to solve it?
One, I think to register the company, to start the company, but I think the major challenge is to raise the fund.
Okay.
To raise the fund. Okay. You need the numbers resources.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's make it a little practical. To get a property, to get a property within the metropolis of Ibadan now, all right, and now make it affordable to say, let's say, civil servants, for example. How possible? How possible is that? Because I know that, okay, maybe let's put up critical examples. To buy maybe a plot of land within Bodija will cost about 25 million at a minimum. All right. So let's even say you want to put up a structure on that land that will accommodate, like, say, 5 families. So we have to also put the cost of construction to the cost of the land.
Yes.
Right. Now, how much will it now be at the end of? How much will that apartment now be at the end of the day? Now, by the time we put that figure up, will the civil servant be able to afford to take one apartment out of that apartment? All right. Is it possible? Now, if it's even possible, do we even have what it takes for that civil servant to be able to? Because for what I say, for what I say, the solution is mortgage.
Yes.
Honestly,
yes.
If the mortgage is available, I work, I earn 100,000 in salary, can the government, can work for the government, can they be taking a particular part of the salary, to pay for over the period of time supposed to be in service? Do you understand? That's what I think is applicable outside Nigeria that makes it quite easy. People get mortgages and then they begin to pay and begin to pay and begin to pay. Do you understand? But because the only place that housing can be cheap is when you go to Igbo.
Yes, fine. Going to Igbo is not the problem. But going to Igbo is staying in the bush.
Yes.
No access road, no covet. By the time during this wet season, I discovered that you can't even access your house because the flood is all over because the streets are. You understand? So we find that most people just decide they just don't have any ability to live within a reasonable perimeter. What I'm trying to say that you go find in the bush, go far away, you don't have access to no access road, sometimes no electricity.
It's for me.
But you can even go far, but not too far. Whereby you have access to basic things. The children to have access to a neighborhood school, at least a crèche or primary school, a market, a police station, to be available.
I don't think government build something along the
Agenda.
agenda. Whenever I'm coming from India, I usually look at that. Are you sure? No, it was well laid out. I think it's even managed by the housing corporation. Because I remember that I went to the housing corporation sometime back, and we were talking about the layout and all that. So I said, are people living there?
Yeah.
You mean the housing servants who live in the that comes?
Okay, they're talking about the
Ajoda is Ajoda before Egbeda. Yeah, before Egbeda.
I was not asking, at the house operation that is anybody living in that facility? And are you saying that people work in secretariat and then they will come from that place to secretariat every morning? And I started asking questions. Is there water there? Is everything happening there? Then do you have buses that will bring them from that place to secretariat? Because whenever I pass there, I don't see anything. So to me, he's dead. I don't see any activity there.
I think you are being inside because it's off. It's not really on the road. You have to go far inside off.
Yeah, but you can see the structure.
Yeah, that's the office. That you see, that's the head of. I think that's the administrative block. Yeah, that's the administrative block. Actually, the agenda was planned. That's what the agenda is. Collective contribution. You understand? So it's supposed to be a new city. So it's supposed to have all the message, but it was not well considered because they didn't consider, like you said, the transportation. What is like a new city moving? They're trying to rebuild the department because they are looking at the whole department. That's the area, not planned at all. So they're trying to create a new city. I think by like the administration and because of the administration not helping. So they had to abandon and the project and the place was abandoned for many years. I think the last administration in the state tried to sustain it. But because you have said the distance of that place. So that place, that agenda, we should have something like that, not too far from the city. Whereby they have access to get the whole place is well planned. Understand? So we should have something like that. Instead, those people should have at that time, that agenda should have been around this opposite.
Well, sorry for cutting you. So that we don't get off track. The whole concept is, thank God that we are starting with you. The whole concept is for your help, also help you organize your thoughts.
Yes, because we are trying to get deep.
No, yeah, you're just a moment. So that it's not an issue of maybe looking at the challenges of that. But I think what we should actually start from is, which is where you started from, and I think we are debating it. Number one, identifying the problem you want to solve. Yes, sir. I think that is.
You are trying to solve the problem, sir.
No, I know, but if care is not taken, the discussion will
No, we are not. Okay,
just hold on. Because don't forget that we don't have the whole day.
Yes, sir. We
also sorry, but again, because we also have to move to another person.
Yes, we are using that agenda as a model now.
So no, don't use the agenda as a model. You already know the crisis with agenda in terms of distance and everything. Now the key thing is now number one is this. We're focusing on you is identifying the problem you want to solve. That is number one. Okay, number two is how do you intend to solve it? What are the strengths that you have that put you in the right position to solve it? Then number two, what are the weaknesses? And I think one of the major weaknesses as identified is funding.
Yes.
Because if you want to develop a real estate, you must have a pool of funds. If you don't have that, what are the other alternatives, which is what is trying to talk about mortgage? You understand? Because the challenge, the crisis I'm looking at for us saying, sir, please just sit on this side. Yes. The crisis I'm envisaging we're going to get is that we will get so deep into what is not working in agenda that you will forget you will forget what is not working in your own.
Yes,
which is the whole essence of this discussion to help you to see. Do you get? Then again, another thing is that if that will also be in terms of developing an estate, may be a long-term project. What is the short-term solution you can offer right now for people? Because we must not also lose sight of that. Because take for example, and this is where I want you to take for example. We said something that Dangote is not involved in manufacturing, but Dangote did not start with manufacturing. He started with importing and selling, but now he has grown so big that he's now manufacturing almost the very thing that he was trading from the onset. So I think those are the dynamics I want us to, because if care, like I said, if care is not taken, we will so much going into, I'm not saying we should not use it as case study, but we have to use it as case study in the light of what is affecting. Forget government can do anything. They have the money, can decide to go and build anything in the bush somewhere. They don't even sometimes plan. They don't look at the logistics and everything surrounding. So don't let us get so bogged down with that. So I want us to just come back. I think you've identified the problem, which I also still feel we can reiterate again. Then what are the strengths that you have? Do you understand? What are the strengths that you have that makes you to be able to deliver on solving that problem? Then number two, what are the weaknesses that you have, which may be a more of an hindrance in you delivering on that? But before we now talk about, there are a lot of opportunities and maybe threats and a lot of. Sorry, I'm using it because I'm trying to get us back to what we've been studying.
The reason is because he is not in the industry. I don't know whether it's in the real estate industry. If you are talking to, if you are talking to pastor now, so Francis, it's an actor, so when you talk about all these things, so there's no need to go deep into the issue of that. So you understand. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yes. Yeah, but another thing we should also not lose sight of is that it may not be in the industry, and most of us may not be, but it could also take perspective as a consumer.
I understand. That was what I'm trying to explain. That's why I gave that an example. We are trying to break it down.
Yeah. So
the strength is basically my expertise and my experience in the construction industry. I worked with a real estate company. Yes, and I was in Lagos. I was there for a while. So I had at least. When it comes to technical.
Okay, sorry. Before let's start it again now. What problem do you want to solve?
Yeah, I said it.
So that everybody is on it. No, don't get me wrong. I know you said it. I'm saying so that let's put it in. You know, the way I work is I try to want to put things in ahead to follow a pattern so that we're not just stacking here and there.
Okay, I said lack of well layout unnecessary facility.
Okay.
It's a big problem. In fact, you can't call it a modern city. So and the town and the city keeps expanding, getting bigger and bigger, but there's no physical planning. And people are continuing to build that going inward, going far away. Aspect of summer.
I think so.
How do you intend to solve that problem?
He started to solve the problem.
No, sorry. Sorry, that's why I said we should put things in context. Because now what you have laid out as a problem now wasn't what you laid out as a problem earlier.
No, that was I said fundamental metrics for assessing everything. The man said in the last lecture, he said we should have two questions. He said we should ask questions. He said, what is the problem to be solved?
Yes. So now that is it. What is the problem you want to solve?
The problem to be solved is physical planning.
The problem to be solved is we want to make affordable houses.
Okay. You see,
affordable, yes.
Right? So how do we intend to make affordable houses available to all of us?
I think
within the metropolis.
No, not really.
You don't want us to go to the bush.
No, not really to within the metropolis because of high cost. Of course, but in a location not too far from the metropolis.
Give us your thought.
Yes.
So where are you looking at as a case study? Where are you looking at within Ibadan? And you want to use to solve that problem?
That's like one that can't really look at. Even the Egbeda, that can't money. Yes. Okay. Even the Egbeda that says it's still not far from the city. It's not too far. But it's quite that axis. I don't think there is any people do their houses. I don't think there is any form of planning or any form of government presence on that. So it's the problem is getting bigger. Everything people continue to do.
So, sir, sorry. No, that you please just once you pick a mic, that's why we have for you to wipe the mic. Now, listen. That's why I'm saying that you need to identify the problem. You're allowing so many problems to come in. Is it providing affordable housing, or you are just interested in changing the landscape, the total outlook of how houses, because you are allowing that to come in, which is a different ballgame entirely. Because your segment market for that is totally different. The people you will be dealing with that is most likely to be governments.
But I didn't want to go there first. I wanted you to tell me how you wanted to solve the problem. Because you see, the problem looks big, right? And it's actually a big problem. And it's big because of the people who are supposed to be involved. Okay? So if you want affordable houses within the metropolis of the town, it will cost a fortune, right? So who do you want to sell this idea to? Is who are the people that will buy the house you're talking about? Are they civil servants? So for me, there's no middle class. It is upper class and lower class. Do you understand? So who are you? Is it for the lower class or is it for the upper class?
Sorry. Let me say this. He's trying to okay, let's provide accommodation, housing planning for workers. Generally, let's say. No, Sam, don't make a mistake. You can't talk for you. I'm saying for myself now. It's an no. Sorry. Wait. Let's get the gist. We listen. And this is the mistake I feel that most of us always make is that you want to take the position of that person. We don't want to take his position. Our own work here is to critique whatever he wants to do to help him to do it better. So don't try to easier let him answer for himself. Don't try to rephrase what he is trying to say. Do you understand? That is the reason, that's the reason why I'm trying to let him see that there are two problems he is identifying. He should just stick with one. If it is providing affordable housing, let's stick with that. If it is you are concerned about the way people are just building without proper structure and all the rest, that's a different problem entirely. No, I know that you may be able to achieve that if you are setting up your own housing estate. But that is like a prototype. But don't let us dwell in that as the problem we want to solve now. The problem we want to solve is affordable housing for people. So if we now tell us that your target audience, like he is trying to push to is civil servants, what are they? We will now come and critique that, oh, civil servants, this is their income level. Have you looked at that? Have you looked at this? Have you looked at that? So, but don't let us come and tell him, don't try to tell him or try to rephrase what he's trying to do. That's not our work. It's not our work. Our work is to critique what he is thinking and let him see the loopholes and the advantage in it so that he's able to go from here knowing what action plans he can take. Mr. Hall, I think we know that.
We are looking at civil servant. Okay, an average civil servant, let's say 100,000. So based on that, what kind of accommodation can we provide to that sources? Happy not provide the mortgage. The worker will be able to pay right for 10 to 15 years. So I'm willing to pay that money and be able to give that decent enough. Not that the person will just go far and get no access to electricity, there's no water, and the campus can come and pick up the person immediately.
So that's the problem, right?
That's the challenge, yes.
Good. So how do you intend to solve this problem?
I think the first thing is to have access to land. Yes, land that is in market. For example, we are looking at civil servants, looking at that look at government that is a job only. It's not too far from secretariat. It's also secretariat. We are looking at worker usage.
So, I want you to present it as if it's a finished product. And as if we are talking to an investor. Because from what you have said, I'm an investor, I'm not an investor.
Yes,
I'm not going to invest. You already have seen a lot of flaws. So I want you to present it as if it's a finished product and you're looking for an investor. And I can really take it out of it and nobody will want to go there. Right? We have developing areas already. We have Logan. It's still developing and they are still rushing there. We have Elizabeth. They are still rushing there. Everybody, look at the proximity. Akinyele is not as close as Olugberu to Secretariat. Somebody took me to a land in Olugberu. In fact, we don't even drive to the land because the people are already built on the road. And I can identify that as one of the problems that you say you have in, you understand? So, but if you want to solve that problem, how do you intend to solve the problem? You should have looked at, okay, which area is not tapped? Which area do you think has better proximity that you can move into? Okay, so how do you want to do that? How much is the land in that area? How much is the structural cost? Do you think somebody that earns 100,000 naira can be able to pay over how many years? Do you understand? So who do you now want to fund it? If you take it to a bank, would the bank see the possibility of making money from it? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you need to build a case study to a point where, but it was truth that an investor doesn't have more than 5 minutes. Trust me. So you don't have more than 5 minutes. Once they ask you, what do you want? And within that 5 minutes, you have to be able to tell them what you want to tell them. They don't have the time. Somebody called me some day to say that and there's a new investment profession, the platform is in Switzerland. I said, what is the investment? I said, what is it about? Say that you give them anything that will give you money, forget it. I'm not interested. The only thing that is real to me is buying and selling. I can see what I want to buy and I can see what I want to sell. When it means I have to give you money and then come back after 1 month and then you give me, I don't want. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a problem. How do you, from your expertise, you're an architect, I expect that you will have thought about, the solutions. Where, what, how. You know how much it used to build a 3-bedroom apartment. You know that building a 3-bedroom apartment might be more expensive. Sorry, building a 3-bedroom apartment might be more expensive than building 3 floors or 4 floors. Right? But people don't like people living over there. They like their space. In Lagos, people are building 5 floors and they are buying it. So we have our own peculiarity in this area as well. People don't like, I don't want to buy a property and I'm in the middle floor and somebody is hitting my head. And I cannot tell him to get out. But it's happening in Lagos and then Lagos people are buying. So how do you want to solve this problem? Yes. So how do you want to, what are you bringing? As an architect, you should have seen where the problem is. Yes, it's a problem, people can't get affordable house and you don't have the finance. So the people that are supposed to buy into your idea, there must be something that will make them buy into your idea. But you will have provide the solution first, not that they will provide it for you.
I think it's like said, I think it's data that I don't have enough data to back up my defense. And that probably you want to defense. You actually like say location, what is the actual amount per plot? In that location you have identified. I think that's
before we even get to that, I have a question for you. Now, how do you want to make the house cheaper?
I think one, yes, affordable. You have to look at the kind of materials and probably a long-term investment. Like you said, from investors, we fund that probably can, and then start to build the house because it's not that probably the payment take about 10 years.
No, I'm not talking about payment now. Yes. I'm talking about, okay, the problem is people don't have access to affordable housing, right? So how are you going to make it affordable? For example, you buy a plot of land, right? How can you, what will you put on that plot of land that will make it cheaper for us as civil servants to buy?
I think that's a type of material you use. One, I think it has to do with the production of the material. You have to look at some local material, like using red bricks. If you produce red bricks, it will reduce the cost of using blocks.
Okay, what kind of structure?
Probably afforded as a 2-3 bedroom. Civil servant, an average worker can afford. That's what it can afford. So you can't go to think about putting deck. That's decking and going up after the cost of the material work for that. So I need to be 2 bedroom. some materials, not necessarily this is because of cement. And these people, they don't really, from my own experience, they are not really after aesthetics. They don't really want a very beautiful house. They just want something decent while they move while they are here. Something decent.
Do you have a drawing already?
That's not important. A prototype is very important.
I'm not an architect, but know that if what can make structure cheap is the amount of houses you put on the land. Right? If the land costs 1 million and you want 5 people to live on that land, automatically 5 people are going to share the cost of that land. Right? And that's about it. What is the innovation you want to bring the cost of material is cost of material. Cement is in Ibadan, is in Abuja, is in Jakarta, it's the same price. Metal is the same price. So cost is cost. You can't, if you don't want to use aluminum windows, you use what's it called? Blind windows, plain windows. Cost is cost. But what I'm saying is, what is that innovation? Are you going to do profab? What are you going to do that will make it
alternative to the common materials? Like red bricks.
And you think red bricks are cheaper?
Yes, production of red brick. You produce it. You can produce it. Red bricks. Yeah, because I've done 2 projects like that. I've done one project like that. One in Osogbo and one in Ibadan at this level site. We produce red bricks. Produce 3 bedroom and another one 2 bedroom flat. To reduce cost.
What was the cost of the building? I went to at the end of the day. So you have a lot of research to do.
Yeah, I have a lot of research. I'm just giving my own idea.
The idea is fantastic, but the truth is that you have a lot of research to do.
Yeah.
And without this research, you won't be able to put a cap to this whole. Because you need to also be able to tell us what will be the cost of using a block, how much will it cost us for the property. Say, okay, a 3-bedroom apartment will cost 7.5 million, while a brick apartment will cost 1.5 million. We must be able to see the disparity in the material. Say, oh, this seems to make sense. Do you understand? Because as again, somebody who is working, for example, in my company, and earns 80,000 as salary, right? And is supposed to pay rent. How much rent should the person pay to be able to even have savings? So truly, if you know bricks is a solution and it will make the house cheaper, and they will still enjoy all the basic amenities that is supposed to get in a proper house, do you understand? Then why not? Those houses will be cheaper within even the neighborhood. It will be cheaper than normal block houses. And people will rush there because everybody wants to reduce their overhead cost. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you still have a lot to put in.
Yeah, there's still a lot. Let me just add before so that anyone in the audience who can chip in their ideas to this. Another thing we also number one, like you said, we have a lot of work to do because even amongst the civil servants, we still have to look at the demographic in terms of their salaries. Because it's an assumption to think that all civil servants earn an average of 100,000.
Senior citizen.
Oh, okay.
What's the number? Even less.
Less.
The ones that have the number are even the junior citizens.
You understand? So I think there's still a lot of thinking that has to go into these things. A lot of in terms of getting data, like we said, to really know what area. Because one of the good things, because you also have to think about how do you also make money for yourself, and the scalability of that idea is what will make money for you, not the idea in itself. How many people this idea can reach? Then secondly, we also need to think about this aspect of, do you know how many, you know that most of these categories of people we are talking about, civil servants, because they are teachers, they are nurses, different demographics. But do you know that a lot of them, through their cooperative, they've already bought land? So which means that some of them, land is not even the issue. It's how to build it. And even some of them, it's actually on a massive, because the cooperative bought on a massive expanse of land, and they now decided to do renewals, go and do whatever you like with the land. So which means that your problem is not even the land. Your problem is how do we now help them to build this land? And we talked about something. which is a research you also have to do, and even possibly a partnership, is can I understand more about what our mortgage banks are doing? How can people tap into mortgage financing? Which is also part of the aspect you're going to need to work on in terms of, because when you now need to deal more with your customers or your consumers, you have to be more in terms of education. You have your cooperative, because take for example, corporate mortgage houses, finance houses will actually finance an estate to the tune of 100%, and I think 50 or 60% of facilities in that estate. The mortgage bank will put their money down to do it for cooperatives. And the reason why they will do that is because they know that they have the clientele. The cooperative already has members that will quickly buy into it and they can begin to repay. So these are options that you need to look at to help. But the first thing is you have to first know what demography you really want. I don't think you've sorted out that yet. That is number one. Yes. Then the second aspect of it is you also need to distinguish, be able to show clearly what you mean by affordable. This is what is going on right now. If we're able to do this, this is the disparity, and the disparity must be something that entices people to want to buy into what you are doing. I think it's yeah. So, but in building your estate, which is part of the aesthetics of your field, now once you are now developing an estate, you can now show that as a model of the aesthetics of how an estate should look like. Because if you want to talk about aesthetics of development, it's government you will deal with in that regard, which will be, and it's not even solving affordable housing. Yes. Do you get it? So you still need to do a lot of work, and then look at your options. You can't start from. I don't think it does make sense starting from buying land, because people already have land you can build. I'm telling you, a lot of cooperatives have land, like you said in Akufo, that's Ologweru Akufo area. They have land in this place. Apata Omi area. Yes. And the interesting thing is that the Apata Omi area is linked to Akufo. Yes. Also linked to. And then also linked to what's this name of this place? Akala Express. And people, a lot of cooperatives have land there. They can't build. So set your mind on what you will find out that addressing one issue solves other issues, and it's against trying to tackle different issues. If it is affordable housing and demography, what are the people that I want to work with? What is their income? How do I get the funding for it? How many years will it take them to pay back if it will be a refinancing model? You understand? These are things, areas that you have to critically look at, and you already know that your expertise as of now, the only expertise you have is your skill. Yes. That's technical. Yeah, it's your skill. Then I think I is also talking about something about value chain.
You need to understand its value chain.
Yeah.
What of man who is behind it to make this possible.
Okay, I think it's very interesting. Also need for you to understand your value chain in the sense that once you know the people that will be involved, can I speak? Is there a major dealer in cement? For I'm not saying you should use cement in cement. Will the person be able to partner on this financing model? Yes. I'll give you an example. Let me just give you an example of a project I worked on sometimes ago. It was with fish farmers. What we did was to set up a cooperative for the fish farmers, and we now said that the fish farm. What is the major problem? Now listen to this, sir. What is the major problem in fish farming? And not just fish farming, any animal production is feed. Their feeding takes 80% of the money they will spend. Any animal production. And we did what? We set up a feed mill. Now, what is the whole essence of the feed mill? Number one is for them to be able to reduce the cost of production, since they'll be producing it themselves. And number two is that they are also able to ascertain the quality of feed they produce. Because that is one thing for you to spend money on the feed. It's another thing to get the quality. You understand? But now, this is where I feel that we should look at alternatives. In the process, we approached, I think the bank, or maybe then government was doing a loan facility or the rest. And the government was saying 10 million naira loan at maybe 9%. I can't remember, it's quite some time now. We applied, actually, I applied for the cooperative. But while we were still on that, we now got a feed production company that was starting out. The feed had been tested very good. And you know, when companies like us started, their products are always good. Very good. And the cooperative now pushed it to the feed mill to tell them that give us a loan in terms of feed for 10 million. Because we are a cooperative group, we will pay back over a period of time. No interest, nothing. Because at the end of the day, the cash they wanted to collect was to buy feed. But they now got a feed company that will give them the feed. Do you? So and that's the reason why the aspect of value chain is also very important. Are there people that in the industries that we can speak with, sell this idea to? And once you're but the issue is that in that is that it gives you a lot of more work to do, because you have to also factor in their interest and what will accrue to them at the end of the day as well, for each of the individuals we'll be speaking with along the value chain. That's the additional work we will need to do, as against only you financing the whole thing. So there are options that you should look at. Don't just look at just the aspect of let us get fresh land. People have land, they can't build. Serious. A lot of go and do the research on that. A lot of civil servants have land, they can't build. A lot of cooperatives in the civil service have land. They don't know what to do with it. They've actually pushed the land back to their members to go and sort themselves out. Let's
I think you have said it that I need to do more research.
Yes.
Initially, the challenge of people have to now build is a problem, because that means there's a vacuum, there's a gap. So the problem is not getting the land, there's no access to the land. The problem is to build the land, because you cannot. The problem is this, from my own observation. If you buy land, the cooperative will tell you that if you buy land, you can't, as an individual, go and build your house, probably about 200 plots. You can't live in isolation. So there's a problem of mass housing in that estate. Okay, we have acquired it. We are going to start with about 20 or 30 houses at a time. Yes, a lot of people say, okay, since I have about 20 or 30 people in that neighborhood, if I build the house, I will pass to that. It was only a crazy person who can build the house in that estate, and you stay there for the next 5 or 10 years before development comes to that place.
So that's what we're telling you to solve.
Yes. So, like you have said, I've seen the problem that it's not only the land, but how do we create a system whereby after acquiring the land, people can build on that land. Whereby a system that
don't forget to affordable.
Affordable, yes. Affordable. So by the time they start building that, so it's a system that will build probably 30, 40 houses at the same time. So people can key into, okay, if I buy the land now, I'm not just giving land from the next side. I know if I buy it now, there's a company or there's a system that will take care of building it. So they continue to pay the mortgage. And after a period of time, if I back to the land, I know that I have neighbors that are activities in that area. Yes.
So I don't know if anybody wants to chip in.
I have a bit of time. I have a pattern message to give to you so that you can go back home and sit on it. Your idea is not a bad idea, but I think there are more pressing issues that you can solve that will give you the leverage to solve this other problem which you do. All right? Now, I want to ask you a question. What is the problem that people who want to build houses now, what is the problem they have? As an architect,
yes,
I know a lot of people have plans to build, but what is the fear? What is the problem they have now?
The problem they have now is that, except a lot of people have the issue of what you know is that okay, let's say from the design stage, okay, let me get someone to design the house. Then you have issue of being able to organize the workers involved. That's why most of the time, after the design, you either ask the architect or the engineer to do the supervision because all that background, we don't know construction.
Let me make it easy for you. Mother wants to build the house. She has her money. Right?
Yes.
No, she has the money, she has the land, she doesn't know what, and she doesn't know what. The problem now, I have the answer. I don't want to tell you. I tell you. Now she wants to build the structure. She has her money. Everything is good. But she's afraid of some things, which is normal for everybody. One, workforce, right? Two, material. Three, trust of giving people money and then the people that will actually deliver, right? So why don't you let's first of all start solving that problem first?
And that's the problem I'm saying. There's no system. You know, she doesn't have a system. What I'm saying is, if you want to build a house, it's not like some real estate firm. You ask like, you want to build a house, probably like, let me give an example, Adron. Because probably they built a reputation. So people have some people, they still have some people that can give Adron some money to build a house. This thing, it's a company. Okay, I'm giving out 500,000 every month. And you have to build a house. I don't mind the total overhead. But to not call one particular or one engineer from India that because especially the guy in the diaspora keep giving out the money and discover that the house has not gone beyond foundation. So I discover that there's no system. There's no.
So do you think it's the system that is the problem?
I'm not. What I'm saying is I'm not using that word system. I think there is no organization.
Okay, let me just give it to you. Okay. I have an engineer who works with me. He doesn't build for Nigeria. He doesn't build for people who live. He builds for people who live in the diaspora.
Yes.
Why? Because he found out that majority of them, when they give money to people here, they don't need it. They waste their money. So what he did was to have it for himself. Give me the money. They'll tell you, I'll give you a 3-bedroom apartment with social amount of money. 15 million, you get a 3-bedroom apartment that will have this, the number of social this. Right? He now broke it down into sections. So in 2 weeks, foundation. In 2 weeks, lintel. In 4 weeks, roofing. In 5 weeks, he broke it down. Give me this, you get this. Give me this, you get this. That's what he does. And he doesn't sleep anymore. Because after building the first one, the person that he builds for will now bring 2 people and say, what do you want to go to? This one for now say, what are you starting? I've never been in the ship alone. Every month. So they are even paying deposits ahead. Do you understand? Now, if that kind of person wants to do the project, do you know it's easier?
Very, very easy.
Because he has a clientele base already. He can now say, do you know there's an opportunity to buy property, make money from it, and also create an opportunity for people to even be able to get houses? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we break down the problem we are battling with is very big and limit it. With your profession, limit the problem. First of all, gain trust in people to even give you jobs to do. Build for people. Tell them that you can build a 3-bedroom apartment with social amount of money. Go and build a mathematics. You are an architect. Tell them, give me 2 million. Your house will get to India in 3 weeks. Do the first one. Do a video. Put it online. They will be the one to sell your story for you.
Now you can see technology.
So when you now have what it takes, do you understand? You have a clientele base. One is coming, another one is calling you. You say, somebody give me your number. I'm from Manchester. I want to build. I have a land. Okay. In this area, give us 3 million. We'll give you foundation in 3 weeks. Are you sure? It's tested. Go to our page on Instagram. It's there. He gives you 3 million. In 3 weeks, you deliver. What do you think happens? So when you now have that, it's easier to now call all those people and say, do you know there's an opportunity for you to create people and housing for people and also be able to make money? They say, how? Because of what you have done for them, you have built a level of trust. Then funding might become even easier.
Yes.
I'm not even going to the bank that will ask you for 28%. Do you understand? So limit broad, it's broad. Limit it to something. What can you do with what you have now without you stretching so much? You can sleep now and draw. I'm sure it's an architect. And I'm sure that you can also build a house within, 6 months from your head. All you need to do is maybe, and I'm sure you can even work as a QS because it's part of what you learned. So do the package it and tell us, I can give you a 3-bedroom apartment in 6 months or in 4 months. All you need to do is give me 3 million for the foundation, 2 million for this, 3 million for this, and everything. And you also tell us the kind of material you want to use with pictures. Remember that you will see people who want to go into building, but they are also afraid. They don't even have the time to monitor it. So when they get Nigeria, you have finished everything. Remember that. I don't want to talk. Huh? So let's the problem. Let's start with that, and then we can now begin to move into the big project of saying, okay, you want to see the world.
So you say it's still the same. And what he has just done is that it's still the same affordable housing.
Yes.
Because affordable is relative to the person you're talking to. It's still the same affordable housing. But now, what he has just helped you to do, what he has really done is to look at it within your strength and the constraints of your weakness that you have right now. That, okay, rather than saying 10 people, can I start with just one person, a client that needs this? And what he has also helped you to do is that he has also helped you say, can you leverage technology? Which means that, can you do a design, a 3D design of the house? And the beautiful thing about the 3D design is that you can even make them walk through the house, telling them the materials. And what he has also done is that he has also helped you to say, let us break it down to the different stages of construction. If the person already has a land, foundation, how much, and materials, and delivery period. The building, delivery period, how much, then the completion, delivery period. But the beautiful thing about it is that you can now tell them that anything extra, they will now pay for it outside of what you have quoted. And the 3D will even make people feel like as if the land is already there, the house is there, the building is there. So it's something that you can begin to work on. Let me ask another question, because since we are talking about this in the light of business, do you have a registered business?
Yes.
It's already registered. So which means you already have a brand other than your name that you can push it out with. Because that's also another thing. People are a bit comfortable when it's more like a business outfit as against an individual. So you already have that. So what else are you now?
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mrs. Obukola, please let's wipe it. If you need extra wipes, then please. Let's make use of this opportunity. Even those of us in the audience that want to chip in, please let's also feel free to chip in, because we're helping ourselves to develop something.
I'm a school owner. I run a school. I love children. I love the major problem that I see is that is coming up more and more is the foundation. I discovered that many places children is already maybe 4 or 5 years, they're already damaged, and that thing breaks my heart in the sense that they've not been properly taught, they've not been well exposed to things they should know, and then they are trying to build. And in fact, this week I said the major problem in Nigeria where corruption starts, I believe, is from family and schools. We just brush over things and we allow children, and because children, maybe the things they ought to have known at certain stages they didn't know, and we keep building on them. The children start looking for, how will I put it, which English should I use now, for ways to, that's what just escaped me, you know. We are trying to look for opportunities, shortcuts, let me put it like that. So for me, that has been my passion, that when I pick up a child, I want to set a proper foundation that the child can build up on later in later years. My skills, I've been a teacher for over 30 years. I've had my children, some of my children that I taught at the lower level, many of them big places now. Then what I see, my strength is in the fact that I'm a thorough person, detailed, and then I look at the future. Even when they are babies, I try to project into things that they can do. Then what I can say is that I want to build in foundations for generations to come. But I'm having issues with customer perception. Because children will always be children. It's not from when they are young that you load them with stuff. You have to take them from known to unknown. But parents come, they believe that, schools will tell them, your child is writing 1 to 300. Give a piece of paper to that child. That child may not be able to write 1 to 10. Teachers help, and because of that, when you promise a thing you can't actually deliver, people begin to help out. They will tell the children, help to do exam, help to do the work. Parents don't usually have time. They don't know what the children are passing through. So I'm having issues with the fact that children of different ages, there are certain things that they can learn, and it's been proven. But parents assume that you don't even know what you are doing when you are taking children through step by step what the children should know. Then threats of bigger schools. Many schools these days, they have the money, they have the funds, they can make up a very beautiful environment. And then for some, I'm not saying for everybody, for some, that's about all. The personnel that teaches the children is not really, they are not really there. So that's one thing. For me, the pricing, I try to, because I've worked at a very high level, I've tried to kind of copy and bring it at very affordable price. Even though it's not meant for everybody, I should put it. It's not something, because I can say that I'm sent to Upward Mobile. I imagine myself when I just got married, had my first child, my second, what we could afford. And maybe providing that education, like the fifth of what would be in big schools. But still, I haven't been able to get into the market. So when people come to my school, they see that it's beautiful, it's clean, it's neat, it's this. But some will feel that they are not offering much, they will go away. But I've had people coming back. So somebody even called me and said they now realize that their child wasn't falling sick when they was in my school. They went to a bigger school, they were paying more, but I'm sure what my children can do, most of them won't be able to do. My children can work independently, they learn, they are motivated to learn. But I discovered that when they bring some of these people, they'll just be looking for the answer from you. They want you to tell them. So I don't know. But then I had issue of pricing. People, I was doing maybe running on a quarterly basis for the junior ones, January, February, March. But after COVID, I realized that people that I correct for, maybe they came in February and I say pay 2 months. By the time a full quarter comes, they are having issues. So I change it. What I do now is I write out the dates of when you resume. I work it out. I inform you maybe a few weeks before that your money will be due. So I think that has been working for me. Then I need to leverage more on technology. I haven't been able to cut through that. And because I see that the children are not that many, is this or having stability of having children. So if you want to advertise with children, not with children who have left your school anyway. So that's my.
Thank you. I'm really interested in this one because it's a lot of decay in the system. It's a lot of decay in the system. And I'm also interested because the foundation is the basic. If you miss the foundation, it will be difficult to catch up. And I must confess to you, the foundation is so bad now that if you're an employer or labor, you understand what I'm saying. It's so bad that I'm working on something right now. When it got so bad, I couldn't employ people anymore. I want to start a training school. So the training school will be free for 6 months. You do a class for 2 months, and then we'll now send you to different companies to work for 3 months before you now come for 6 months for brush up in the class, and then we can now send you back to the company that wants you. Within that 3 months, they will have seen this one is, they will be the one to request for you. Then we now begin to negotiate payment in terms of all that. Now, but it's so bad that the first time I put it out, the first question I got from someone was, "Are you going to pay us for coming to the training?" You know, so it's a very big problem that even the government itself does not understand that. It will get to a point that we have begin to import people from Cotonou to put the work there. We are getting there very soon. We're already getting there in the labor market area of building. So we'll also get there where we begin. So this is Ghana has gone. Ghana, we'll begin to ask Ghanaians to come and work here while we pay them instead of Nigerians work, because it's so bad that our youths are now negotiating that I cannot work with so so really I'm interested because it's we need to find, you know, we need to improve on the busy, and it starts from there. But again, I want to start with a question. And the question is, I'm sure you know there's a school around Akubo who was doing so well at some point. You know, so so big, they have buildings on both sides of the road. What did they do right? That's what you know this. What did they do right? And I found out that the person who owns the idea is the mother, and the person who blew up the school is the son. Wow, son brought in refined technology, refined ideas. The mother is the workforce. And they came together, and all of a sudden, the school is all over. I don't know how much they pay now, but it's one of the biggest schools around Akubo. So for me, and I like the fact that he said something, it's not for everybody. But you also need to model the business as it is. My advice again is, maybe after this session, you need to allow people that you know that are professionals to come and look at the business for you holistically. We come to the location, we look at the school itself, we look at the structure, we look at, you know, and then begin to tell you, because as you're telling me, the first thing that came to my mind was, where is the school? I want to go there. Because I have to look at what we said in Nigeria is perception. That's the truth. In fact, a lot of schools that don't have content are making more money.
Yeah. So
they said some schools even pay in dollars in the Barrow. they tell you they have a dollar account. Dollar account. I was coming from Abuja one day, another in Ibadan. Then I found out that they had 2 buses waiting at the airport. I noticed that there were so many students in the plane. I was wondering, so when we got down, I noticed that there were 2 buses, 2 luxury buses waiting for them. One was their bag, one for the children. Of students of various people coming from different parts of Nigeria, coming to Abuja, they pick them with security, with escorts. I love it cheap. So it's perception. If you have the content and you don't also have, okay, let me just quickly run down the 7 P's of marketing. All right. So for me, I like to arrange it this way from my business perspective. The first thing is the product, which is what you have. You have a product which is bringing children up in a particular way. Well, they will identify value because we've lost value. Right? So that's the product. So what's the next thing that you need if you have a product? The next thing for me is the people. Who do you want to sell that product to? So if your school is located in Abuja, and the people you want to sell the school to are living in places that they already listed, because we don't want to drive that far to drop our children in the morning. We just want to drive out of our house, drop our children and move on. And on our way back, pick them up. Convenience. So location, the people first, then the next one will be the place. So if the people is the people who live in Bodija, then the place should also be the proximity of Bodija. You mean? Now, what will be the affordability? This should identify the people who are people in Bodija, medium, range. I don't want to call it top class, medium range. So they can afford to an extent. So that will now determine the price you want to put on. Bear in mind that you will also look at, cost, communication, and all that. That will now come to price. Then other things will now follow, like promotion, and other things like that, to make the 7 P's. So we need to look at the business again holistically. Whatever way, I don't know where the business is. So we need to, look at structure, which is structure. I know you have the idea. The product is fine. I don't have a problem with the product. In fact, the product is enough to sell itself. So all we need to do is put an enabling environment around the product. So people are still looking for things like this. My children traveled sometimes in January, and the school called their mother and said, "Where are you guys from?" From Nigeria. Children are so cultured. What's the big deal about when you wake up in the morning, you need that greeting? You don't need that, answer you. But to me, it didn't really make, any difference. But I understand from the context of being cultured, because other students also come there and they begin to tell you what to teach them. So they also found themselves in a new environment and they're getting awards within a small, very short period of time. So again, our culture is something we should sell because it works. So I'm sure parents who have identified that they need to give their child a good foundation will want to look for such a school. And trust me, you don't need more than regular 1,500 students. By the second session rather, you will have to tell them you don't have person to take them. Once we put it right. Then you need to also allow technology to come in. The parents themselves want to see what will my child gain more from the school. And there's a school like this. I remember that I told my children that they should come, they should bring your own money sometimes. They were going for a discussion. Somewhere a discussion, and then people were trooping to YouTube. And it was a big deal about discussion. The parents also want more. They want their children exposed. Okay, so you also have to look at how you can give the parents more. Now, again, it's easier to sell to the parents because when they come, they want to know why am I bringing my child here. So when a parent is telling you, I said my child to know, madam, do you know that when I took my child abroad, you have to repeat the class. They said your age, you were born in December, you cannot jump. Once you are social age, this is where you are supposed to be, standard law. But we don't have law here, or we don't like the music. So you need to let parents also know that this is the way they're supposed to learn. If you now want to push your child a bit because the child is bright, what we should do is allow the child to first of all know the basic. Then this is more. Show them the more. If you want your child to know more. But if you see that the child is not getting up to more, let the child know the basic. Don't rush the child. There's a particular age for what a particular age should learn. Which parents don't even know. So it is now your job to also let the parents know that age 2 should know this. Age 3 should know this. There's something they do in one of the schools I take my children. After the first term, before the end of the first term, they will ask you parents to come. Both of you will now come, the husband and wife, you sit down to bring out the things they taught the child throughout the term. And look at how they marked it. Look at what the child is supposed to have learned. Look at the response areas. What I always ask them is that when we come in, you don't tell us what we should do to help you to help the child. You only tell us this is what the child should learn, this is what we are doing. I said, but we are the ones who spend more time with this child at home. What you tell us what we should also do to also help the child to learn more. So that when the child gets to class, it's easy roller coaster. Not that, So they always put me aside to tell me other things. Other parents just come, see, and move. For me, I will begin to tell them, I as a parent have a job. What should I do to help the child to grow better and learn better? You now tell me, you can buy these books, buy this, let her do this reading, let her do this reading. And then my child will now come and say, my child is now coming first. Why would the child not come first? So other parents also don't like to do their own part. Do you understand? So you need to make it visible for the parents to see. So I'm sorry I've been able to try and see out, because I'm really interested because I know where the problem is. But let's bring it back to the structured way we were looking at it before. The problem, what is the problem?
I see that there's a gap in foundation.
Okay. You have to solve.
I try to take a child from where they are to where they are supposed to be. Time to learning. Because for learning to take place, a child should be able to remember and be able to work independently.
Sorry, this case is a different case to the other case we did before. This is an existing business. All right?
Yes.
So is that, well, because we know Mr. Nicola, so he went a bit. I don't think that is really the problem. The problem is what we've addressed, is marketing. How do I get more people, more parents to bring their children to my school? That is the problem. That is not the product, but that is the problem.
It's one of the problems.
Oh, it's one. Okay, let's categorize it. Is it the key problem?
Some come, but after you've done the basics, they leave. Some will tell you, they might not be able to tell you, but when they leave, they see that what we have been doing a lot. Because the basic things that children of 2 years, 3 years should know, they know. But they want a child, they want you to lie, kind of orchestrate the fact that you shouldn't force a child to start writing. They want them, they will tell you that a child of 3 years is already writing 1 to 1,000, which is a lie. most of the time it's a lie. Maybe it's an adult dictating the number, or they will one thing or the other, but it's for some, when they leave, they come back, they will have seen that when you are trying to lay a foundation, it takes time to lay a proper foundation before you start building. But they are not patient enough to even see what you are trying to do.
Sorry to cut you short. What is obtainable abroad for a 2-year-old child?
They should be able to speak very well.
So,
no, sorry, not even abroad. The curriculum. What is even?
You know why I said abroad? Because that's our problem. Acculturation. We want everything on the internet. What is obtainable outside Nigeria? Do you understand? So, since that is our problem, what is obtainable across board? So when you have it as a project manager, it's something they can also go and check. So when they come, let them, apart from showing them what you have written down, let them now go to the internet right there, right? And check what's obtainable for a 2-year-old child. It comes up, they see. So it's not that from it, this is obtainable across board. It's on the internet. This is what a 2-year-old child should know, and that's what we are going to do.
Okay, that's why I said we've already, well, from my own point of view, that you actually addressed it. It's just for us to maybe go a little bit specific into it, because the problem really is customers. That's the sorry, man. Okay, all right. Just before the conclusion, the problem is really customers. It's like gaining customers, retaining customers. So now, what now stems from that, or what now leads to that is the customers feeling that maybe, or assuming or thinking that this is the expectation of the customer in terms of what is obtainable almost everywhere around them. That like you said, a child of maybe 2-3 years should be able to write between 1 to 1,000. Well, why we may say it's not totally true, it doesn't mean that some kids at that age will not be able to accomplish it, but so oftentimes the challenge is that the kids that are brought up properly, even academically, you see the results as against kids that they are rushing. So those are part of the challenges she's having with the parents. Parents think that in a particular school. Because, for example, maybe at the nursery level in some schools, especially schools that follow a Montessori methodology, it may be kids painting, singing, instead of even writing at all. And parents say, at other schools, they're already writing. Abi? No, I'm just using that as I'm not using that as an example.
When children are younger, they learn indirectly. They learn through play, through exposure, and then I discover with babies, they need more adults.
The mic.
With babies, I see that they need a lot more adult interaction. It's improving that the neural paths form better when children are with adults. They talk. Like, they brought a set of twins to my school. When they came, they were already 9 weeks. They were not actually crawling. They would just sit down. Both of them, they would be fighting themselves, pulling hair and doing things. But they won't laugh. They've not been talking with them, playing with them. But we brought them, started teaching them. We tell them if they beat, she's your sister, don't beat her. They were away for some weeks. By the time they came back, I think the parents now appreciated all that we've been doing. They were not eating any solids by the time they brought them. They were not. So we started educating. By this age, you should have introduced this. You should have done this. From our place, they started crawling. They started being friendly. So by the time they were away for some time, they brought them back. The day they came, I almost cried. They looked at us. They will hug us. They will put their head on our shoulders. They will laugh. By the time they turned 1 recently, the parents for the first time said thank you. You know, because they now see how far we have brought them.
Now, sorry, let me just chip in. So now that is the challenge oftentimes is that some parents in that same category will be like, you're coming with my concern now. Do you? So
particularly they are comparing with maybe their neighbors.
Right. Exactly. So I think that is in terms of parents. That's why I said the major thing is customers. In terms of gaining customers and retaining the customers.
Then there's something I want to say is that for many parents, the kind of standards they have is very, very low. Even those children, they say they are writing. My children in play group, if they write for you, you know that this child is writing well. They bring children, you know, from time to time, they say from maybe some big schools, they will come. The child is already mixed up alphabets with numbers, you know, things like that. And that's one of the sensitive things that are happening all around us. And then the child is not independent. They say they are writing, but it's actually the teacher doing the writing.
So I'm sure I'm not sure the make is still working.
For me, I think
battery.
The parents.
Help us get the battery.
How do the parents believe in you? Because for me, if I trust you, I won't bother about what you're doing. I know that you will deliver. Right? So there's a problem in that area. The parents must be able to believe in you enough to say, take my child there. I'm sure she will do due diligence. Such a parent that is convinced, I'm sure person won't be comparing the neighbor's child to the parent. Do you understand? So again, I think we need to also go back.
Check the battery.
The product.
The battery.
Right? I think we also need to go back to the product. And then identify what exactly you want to offer. I think we need to position the product itself. Yes, there's a product. But let's now look at the product. What is the product? What will the product do? What is the benefit of the product? Because I think everybody is categorizing it as a school.
Exactly.
Right? But there's something you're doing that other schools might not be doing. So we need to carve a niche for ourselves. Looking at the product itself again. So if you want to go to school, you are going to look for foundation.
People sell that for me.
So we need to.
So which also means that apart from scaling it, which also means that in terms of you communicating it, you must be able to craft that in such a way that that is what comes first.
So we need to repackage it.
Sorry, because let me give you an example. It's the school my kids go to, Richmond. We recently had a PTA, and that would be the first time actually that we will have such. And parents were like, we know that this I'm not promoting the school anyway.
I sell the school.
Okay, you know because now
I've been able to check schools around.
So because this woman, one of the, and these are information I even know recently, is that an average teacher in that school has spent 20-something years in that school. An average, there are teachers that have spent 30-something years. An average teacher, which means there's a track record. But what I want to really bring out from the school is that parents are now advocating that she should go to secondary school. And she said, no, this is my calling. It's primary school. Let's lay the foundation for these kids. So I think it is something that it may not be something we will be able to really come up here, but it's something that because schools are schools, that is what education is education. It's just, for example, now the challenge we're having with even our educational system in Nigeria is that we've modeled everything together, forgetting that those who go to polytechnics always come out with technical expertise, while those who go to the university come out with administrative expertise. That is what those institutions are meant for. But we've modeled everything together. We're now saying that polytechnic should be at par with. No, the training is different. But it is now us that we now need to now be able to what we call unique selling points. That this is what my school, and that helps you to communicate effectively with parents, with teachers as well. Then that also now dovetails even into the kind of methodology you use to express. Sorry, I'll give you the floor. That will now also give you the methodology that you will also deploy. But ultimately, that also helps you in terms of even communicating. It doesn't mean that some parents will still behave as parents, will still want to try something else. But you will be rest assured that they will always come back. And that is that they will even be referring other people. We know the amount of parents we refer to this school because we saw the difference. But however, again, another thing I also want to chip into it before I forget is the fact that what you are also selling, you also, what, like you said, place. If pricing, and I don't think pricing is what you mentioned as a problem. I think the product is really what is not well communicated. Because it also has to do with how do you now communicate this product to the people in that, because proximity is also very key. Because schools are plenty now. Forget those days where there are small minimal schools, people can drive all around to get to the school. So people in that, how do you now come? Because how do you communicate to the people in that community so that they patronize you? Is very, very key. I'll give an example quickly because of the project, and after I was allowed to of this partnership we're running into this year. And we started advertising training programs. We didn't get a lot of traction. We actually started advertising the long-term training program. We didn't get a lot of traction. Just we advertised short programs. We didn't get quite a lot of improvement, but not quite. But the funny thing, the moment we advertised workspace for tailors, come and see our phone bustling with calls here. And but the funny thing is that even when we advertised for workspace for tailors, people were now asking for training while they were finding out information about the workspace. You understand? So, which means that we've now found a niche area to communicate with people, to drive them in. We now gives us an opportunity to now tell them the other things we are doing. So I think that is very, so it also means that we still have to go back and study the environment. By the way, our school is at so because of the industrial estate there, so for me it's a good area. It's just now I'm sitting down to study the environment you are in and what is the best way to communicate to that environment. Because what you need first is, it doesn't matter, let the people come in first. Once they come, it is when they come in, they see what you offer. If they don't come in, they can't see how good. Unfortunately, the education is such a way that it's not a product, a feasible product that people can say it's good or bad until they experience it. So the first thing is for them to come in. So it's for you to get the best methodology of communicating with the environment in which your school is based to get as many of them to come in. And I think we've discussed this before, which is also one of the things that we mentioned, is also to always find an ability to interact even with existing parents. It is very key. It is very key because you have to constantly communicate with them as to what you are doing and why you are doing what you are doing. Because they will always have an opportunity to always compare you, especially, unfortunately, with the bigger schools. So let me just pause there so that
I'm quite interested in this area of schooling because personally I have a vision along that line. And I found out that it's all about packaging, like you said. And there's so many things when it comes to school that we can create the niche, you can create a niche for yourself. And the most important thing, like you said, is what do people want and what can you offer? And schooling these days is no longer place-bound. Schooling is no longer place-bound. Since the time of coronavirus, online schooling is great now. In fact, somebody is asking a question that are we going to have schools? Are we going to have physical schools maybe in the next 10 years? So this is the time to start packaging ourselves. Visibility, being visible is no longer location based. And that's why technology comes in. In fact, there's one woman recently, she retired from the public service. She was a physics teacher. And this woman he said physics to her is this thing. She's so good. And about 2 months ago, she retired. And to me, it was like, what becomes of her knowledge? What becomes of her expertise over 35 years as a physics teacher? And I said I would talk with her. And that's what I'm saying. You know, when we are talking about schooling, you don't have to restrict yourself to your teacher's only. One of the things is this kind of people that are retired but that have good expertise. They can have recorded classes, teachings of topics. Children will enjoy it. You have in your class a screen like this, and somebody is teaching them physics. And then it will cost you the cost of paying a teacher. Because the moment you pay to get that, you have it for life. Then apart from that, I just put down some things. Content. You mentioned culture. There's so many areas of our culture that parents are beginning to add more interest in. Like you said, greetings, getting to know some things, in terms of culture. I have a friend that teaches Yoruba language online. In fact, if you know how many are students from abroad, you have a school, you can have an online classes for in so many areas. Is it that of language? Is it online class for each language? All you need is and that is where value chain comes in. You don't have to be the only person that will do it. Get an Igbo teacher, get an Hausa teacher. You don't even have to employ them. Get them to do classes. And then you begin to online. People, that visibility is that they don't even have to come to your school. You have both online and physical school. Now, for the physical part of it is also good grooming. So that everything you do physically in the school, if possible, then you have it online too. But so that it is not only people that come to the school that are your clients. You have online clients and they pay more. Look at good grooming. Personally, I always desire people to behave well. Public speaking, good communication. They can be part of your curriculum and at the same time, make it available online for anyone. It's collaboration with others. It's a value chain. There are people who have had courses in good grooming, in good communication, in public speaking. Be part of your that can be part of your teachers. They don't, like I said, they don't have to be, they are your online teachers. They don't have to be physically present. And you maximize them. Now, there are so many other areas, like we talked about excursion the other time. Exposure. Advertise your excursion such that it's not even only going to be your school students. When people see it all over, children from other schools too can join. Get a good, my husband was going to do it sometimes. Someone whose line is maybe excursion. Like I said, it doesn't have to be you that will do everything. Collaborate with others. There are some guys that is their job. They take children on excursion. Children from different schools. So that is also possible. Their music lessons, it's an attraction. Collaborate with the music school. You advertise it in your school, it is online, other states will join. It depends, it's a game of numbers. You don't in terms of the profit, it's going to be a game of numbers. The more people you have is the music school that will do it, maybe on weekends or on specific days. Now, I also have here vocational. In fact, as at now, if we learn from our own experience that the only thing we are given in school is reading and writing. Now, from what age we should be, minimum of, as long as a child can start doing anything, crafts. Every student now, right from nursery school, must have a vocation, must be taught a skill. These are attractions. We are talking about gaining customers. These are things parents are looking for now. A balanced school, so that they will learn, then they will be skillful. And like I said, it is not about you doing everything. It's about a value chain. Get people who are skilled in different areas, so that it can be an online lesson. It can be a physical lesson that person will just be visiting your school so times in a week, and then you teach them the skill. Then seminars and workshops, both especially for parents and for teachers. It's sad when you said you only have PTA ones. How can there be only one PTA? How do you want to communicate? Because these are the interests of parents. There's so many things to let the parents know. Parent-teacher seminar, parent-children, how to handle your children. Children's diets. Many parents will complain, "Yo, in jail, like I'm a nutritionist. I collaborate with schools. Once in a while, I have a nutrition session with parents, with children. Like I said, it's always a value chain. It's a collaboration. You don't have to do everything. So that when you package all these things and it gives you have this visibility, in fact, parents will be excited because of what they know the school is about to stand for. The eating habits. Unfortunately, my daughter, by the time she finished secondary school, she had dental problems because there's always been biscuits and chewing gum in the school. There was never, no dental class, no dental knowledge. These are areas that children, the parents want. The area of their dental wellness, the area of their nutrition wellness, the area of their hygiene. So I'm just talking about the packaging and things that will attract parents. Then we talked about, with all this, you automatically regain the trust of people because they know what you can offer. And like I said, maybe it's easier now with online visibility and then physical something. So these online schools, Montessori schooling, all these value chains, they can blow up any school. In fact, before people will get to where is this school, Papa? You would have online and everything without visibility, you have gained so much ground. And then you can even by then generate so much as to now be a very big school that they will now, so that we need to collaborate and not just, because you say without collaboration and networking, without this value chain, there's little we can do ourselves. But when you open up, let's have a nutritionist, let's have a dentist, let's have online teachers. There's so many things that we can use to make schooling attractive, culture-based people, languages, like I highlighted before. So it's all about how much we can reach and how much we can project.
Thank you very much. I think she has highlighted a whole lot. What I would just want to touch on is on collaboration. Number one, collaboration. Then number two is because the kind of school she runs is still not a primary school as such. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of the demography of the kids. They are younger children. And what I want to bring out of that is which is also one of the things you see. Because unfortunately, the kind of kids that we're training, they are not the kids that can easily go back home and say, we did this in school, we did that in school. And unfortunately, it is much later that parents will now begin to see the kind of foundation we are building in the kids. So it's a schooling that you have to involve. For example, she's mentioned something about dental care. We could have a promotion and say, we're inviting a dentist to come to school today to check the kids. Or we want to invite the parents, there will be a lecture on dental care of their children. So after the dental seminar, the dentist actually now takes the kid one by one, checks their dental formation, and now offers prescription advice to the parents in that when it comes to health, as for example. So, and there are other areas as well that we can look at. But like I said, what I am just drawing out from it is that because of the kind of school that we are running, there are kids that will not be able to talk so much and tell what is happening. It is for you to involve their parents in the training of this. We talked about eating habits. Parents have, because the truth is that most parents don't even know all of these things. Thank you. I remember I taught in the secondary school in the States. That should be 1997. We were going on vacation, long break, this end of the year break. And parents were coming to meet us teachers in school and say, we will give you money. Let our kids stay with you for the long vacation. That was 1997. No, sorry, 2002, 2003. What do you think will be happening now? We don't want that to go. So, and that's part of the things that is causing the decadence in our educational system. Because if it is the money you're after, you will make a lot of money, but you won't produce quality kids. But since you want, the thing is that I believe that you can do both. Make the money, still produce quality kids. But like we pointed out earlier, the product must be well defined. I think there's this stuff about most of our universities. They say they bring you in learning and character. So that you will know that we're doing both academics and, let me pick our words, grooming. So it's very good. It helps you to, once that is well defined, it helps you to cascade down to how you communicate to the parents, how you even instruct your teachers to even teach. But at that level, there are other extracurricular activities that you can know. Recently, I was still discussing with one of the teachers in my son's school, and I was telling the teacher that because now the parents were complaining about extracurricular activities, and which is a problem with most schools now. Everything is A1. They shall want the children to have A1. So they are bombarding them academics and all the rest. So I was not discussing with you, and I said, don't worry that from next time, they will agree that Fridays will be for extracurricular activities. I said, that is fine, at least as a starting point. But I said, but look at the curriculums again. I said, for example, somebody is taking home economics. There's a topic in home economics that talks about sewing. Why would you want to do sewing and you'll be writing sewing on the board? Bring in a fashion designer to come and teach them. It's still the curriculum, but you've just practicalized it. There is cooking. Rather than say a special day for cooking, during that class, bring it in. I said computer science, bring in somebody in robotics, a topic that relates to it. Let the person come and show them the practicality. I did mathematics in school. Unfortunately, I didn't see the relevance of mathematics until I watched this movie where the woman was calculating. If you have watched the movie, where the woman was calculating to see the tangent at which the spacecraft will get back to Earth. So mathematics is relevant. It's because everything was just doing dy, dx, this, and I didn't even understand how dy, dx relates to car. But these are the things that we can, it's just bringing the private, like I said, just not to overflow the issues that involve the parents, because they will be your selling point. Then understand the language by which you can communicate to those in your community where the school is representing. All you want them to do is let them come out, and you know that the product you have is solid. once they experience, you know they can't go away. But if they don't come, there's nothing to experience. Because I want us to round up so that we can go for a break, a 30 minutes break, and be back. So that we round up this session by 1, so that we can go for a break, then we can come back by 1:30, so that we can take 2 other people before we round up.
As an education, I want to ask, what can you define education? What education is all about? Because this is because I want us to differentiate between schooling and education. Because I think you don't necessarily have to go to the formal place. You can go to school, formal, maybe organized by government for schooling. But I want that because she has to talk about the foundation. And the foundation has to do with the real education. So I want her to define what education, not really the formal way, education is blah blah. No. Let us understand what education is all about. As an education, she'll be able to explain. Yes.
Education can be formal or informal. You know, from when children are babies, you start educating them. But many people don't know that fact. They give children till they are older and believe it's about school. That's not education. Education starts from when a child is born. And education is not just about cramming. Maybe memorizing things. It's learning to live. That's what it's about. The child having culture. In fact, for me, from when my children are small, the way you see it, character, like somebody, if I use, it's not promoting the school or not, but there was a parent, they left after COVID. They took that child to a big school. Then she came back complaining that everybody can even have. I said it's not everybody that can afford the school. By this time, that child, even though like 4 years, you can't talk to her and listen. She embarrassed her mom by the time she brought her back. Meanwhile, while she was with us, of course, because of the way we correct, we groom them, she won't even do. I really felt sorry for her because she already has a problem. She was just talking back at her mom, just shouting at her, because children, they copy. So the kind of environment by which you groom a child to is important. It's not just education starts from parents, and then it grows into when they start interacting with other people. It's not, if I put it, a child needs to learn and then retain. When you are teaching a child and the child doesn't retain, learning has not taken place. So education is about the learning and the teaching process. What are you teaching and what are they learning? So I think it has to do with the culture too. Like recently I was somewhere, that child was old. We're in the church right in front of the altar. The child was just talking. The priest was praying. The parent did not check the child. As for me, at a point I couldn't take it. I had to say, see, the pastor is praying. Stop talking. The mom looked at me, but I didn't even, because I see that a lot. So those are, for me, I can't look away because I just felt this starting a culture of disrespect for God. So where do you start from? When a child does not even fear God, then what are you going to put in that child and the child will change? So
I think she has answered the question. And there's a phrase that says education is learning to live.
Yes.
And I'm still coming back to most of the things she talked about. I think you have to incorporate, since it is learning to live, you have to incorporate a lot of
be dynamic in the activities, involve a lot of, because sometimes the experts you involve will also be mouthpiece for your school. They will also be mouthpiece, cheap publicity. Yeah, cheap publicity for your school. But because the more you involve all of them, look at, okay, there was a time, unfortunately, my wife did not have that precious time. She'll still go back to it. There's this club that she runs. What she does is that there's this particular, there's a course, fashion and crafts, where the kids come in to learn how to sew and design and all the rest. But there's this other one, modeling and finishing class. What she does is simple. She says, today we want to talk about, well, like you said, dental care. It won't be dental care in the class. She will take the kids to the dentist office. So the dentist will speak to the kids about their dental hygiene and everything. And afterwards, the dentist will check all of them and will now make prescriptions which they will now take to their parents, and they can choose to follow up afterwards. There was another one she wanted to teach them about dining etiquette. She took them to Martha's kitchen. They taught them and they served them. You demonstrate what you have been taught. So it has to be. There was one that she also did a manicure and pedicure. She took them to the manicure and pedicure's place. Another person's work that you are showing. Yes, no, it is your work that you are showing. No, it is your work. It is what you have done in your school that you are promoting. So, unfortunately, it's human beings that you promote. That's what you deal with. So, take pictures. Once in a while, even allow parents to even promote some of these things for you. Talk to parents to also share their experience in your school. If you have other experiences with other schools, let them share without necessarily naming the other school. Let them also share. But I'm also bringing it back. I'm just trying to tie it because technology. Yes.
Picture is clearer to me now.
So it's still the same curriculum you are following. How you are delivering it in a different way. That's just making it more practical. Yes, making it a lot practical. But I'll still, and the reason why I'm emphasizing this, sorry I'm repeating this, is because of the category of kids she deals with. Involve their parents. Some of the parents won't have time, but let those who have time come. Let them be part of the experience, and let them also be mouthpiece for. And even once in a while, maybe during this long holiday period, we could also do a program outside. It's still academics, it's still education in that sense, but that encompasses other kids in the environment. We could do a free dental stuff for all kids in the community. And once they come, you have your flyers for the school available for the school. The school also interacts with the parents when they come. And so I don't know if Mr. Marco has anything to say. Why we have that section?
I'd like to have give parting messages. All right. It looks a little bit cumbersome, but I want you to take it one after the other. First of all, look at the product. Who invites people into a house that's not properly built? Because first impression, goes a long way. I'll give you a critical example. His place was being opened in Bodija about a year ago. So somebody is a friend to the guy who wants to open the place. So he was using his friends to bring in customers. Right? So one of my friends told me to go there. When we got there, I met a table of people. Somebody on that table asked for the menu and then ordered a drink of 100,000 naira from that menu. Lo and behold, the drink was not available. Now, I know that the price of that drink the trade is about 60,000. So they would have made 40,000 thereabouts profit. Now, why did you put that menu there? And then the funny thing is about it is that you would get the best crowd the day you open. After that day, you won't be able to get that crowd. Because there's something called sentiment. We want to support you because it's your day, right? That support will not come every day. After that day, we are moving. So why don't you maximize the opportunity? So the product itself should be looked at and make sure that before you start making the noise for people to come, let's fix the product. And also let's fix the house, which is the place. Then we can now start making noise. So when they come, the impression stays. They won't go and then not be able to come back again. So let's take it step by step. First, let's look at the product. So when we finish with the product and then the space, we can now move to the next stage. Right? So I would advise that you have a plan. And then the plan is, look, let's have professionals who will come in, all right, and look at it and give you advice and help you. Some people might even be interested to use their money to work to help you. Go like that. They see that, oh, there's an opportunity here. Let me. People say you don't need your money. Some people are saying, oh, I can see that this person has this opportunity, that has this zeal. I want to support you. Yeah, it happens. So what their joy is to see that you are doing well, all right? And then they can see that when they put their money, oh, it's happening. So not everybody who has money wants return on investment in what they want to give. They want to see that their money is being good in somebody's life. So when they see that, oh, this person can run up this idea, I have to run with it. Oh, it's happening. They're happy. They're okay. They can move on. So when we do the first phase, then the second phase will come, and then we can have it in phases that way, and then it can become a full package. All right? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Let's put our hands together for how many of us gained? Huh? We gained that. Does it make sense? It makes sense. Because at the end of the day, it won't make sense if we don't tackle, because that's the reason why you came. You want your business to be better. You want the business improved. So that's the reason why we're taking. I'm sorry for the gentleman joining us today. We will still hopefully take your presentation as well, but we are handling those who have been with us throughout the whole series. So we will have Madam after the break, and afterwards we will have Babatudo after the break as well, before we move to something else. So please, we have, I think, shawarma drinks. There is someone selling food outside, so that we can just refresh ourselves a bit. Then we'll be back here by 1:30 p.m. for the next second session and the final session for today. So once again, thank you very much. Mr. Mark Kapela, thank you. You'll still be here with us. All right, so he's around. He has dedicated the whole of today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So we'll take a break, so we'll be back. Please, like I said, announced earlier, let's try to be safe. Let's try to just take care of ourselves. Wash your hands when necessary. Use the sanitizers. And one of the things we'll try to do is that at least everybody has a wipe so that you can always clean the mic before we use. Thank you. So we'll be back by 1:30.